Okay guys, so I am going to do a very random Independence Day reading. I just felt really compelled to do a little video for today, so maybe somebody out there could use some guidance. Everything has been pre-shuffled, and so we'll just lay a 3-card spread. I'm using the Line Strider Tarot, so you'll be able to see the really pretty images here in just a moment. I don't typically celebrate Independence Day myself, but I know a lot of people do. So again, this is a little bit random for me, but if it goes well and you guys dig it, then I might start doing these holiday readings. I'm also thinking about doing monthly readings for all the signs, so we will see. Okay, so at the bottom of the deck, what we have fueling the reading is the Sun card. And the Sun upright, I mean, it's the brightest card in the deck, and just show you guys here. Beautiful artwork, right? Brightest card in the deck, it's Major Arcana, and you really can't get any better than having the Sun show up in your reading. Even when it's in reverse, it just means that in reverse that the fullness of your pleasure is not being experienced. Something is kind of casting a little bit of shadow over a happy experience, what should be a really celebratory day. Maybe there's something that's causing it to not be as joyous a celebration as you would like, which happens, okay? So we're gonna get a little bit more deep into this and see what we can see. Okay, so we have, let's turn all of these over. Okay, so what we have here, let's move these over just a little bit. I'm not used to videoing my readings. I usually record them audio, so this is a new adventure for me, so thank you guys in advance for your patience. Okay, so sort of the energies going on throughout the day. Now remember, this is the energy that's fueling the reading. So we have the Ten of Swords in reverse, and swords are all about intellect, communication, analysis, strategy, that kind of thing. It's air energy. And the Ten of Swords in reverse is somebody who is putting off a cycle. An inevitable ending for some reason. 10 is a completion number, and so when this is upright, it means that you are about to embark upon a new opportunity. In reverse, the Ten of Swords means for some reason you're stalling. You're putting off the inevitable for some reason. And it could be like if you're thinking about leaving a job or a position, or moving or ending a relationship or partnership. For whatever reason, you can't at the moment, or you feel a bit trapped. Now, remember, these are swords. The next two cards we have are wands, and wands represent creativity, passion, things that motivate you, inspire you. Wands are fire energy. So by the middle of the day, it's like you're looking towards the future in terms of, how can I move forward with my life? In a creative way. What can I do to add some fuel back to my own fire? How can I make a life of passion, a life built on creativity? How is that going to proceed? And so you might end up talking to somebody. I see that there are two deer here on this particular card. In the traditional Rider-Waite, there's only one person, and he has these 3 wands that he's kind of just hanging out by. But I'm also drawn to the fact that there is one wand in particular that this deer is walking towards. So you may be talking this over with a friend tomorrow. Well, I guess today, since it's July 4th, that's the day that I'm doing the reading for. So you might find yourself talking to a friend or a family member or a partner about how you can move forward towards your creative passion. You might have one idea in particular that you really want to pursue, and maybe 2 other ideas that could come along with it. But the other thing to note here is that, numerologically speaking, we're in what the numerologists are calling a 1 year. So this year, 2017, is all about planting seeds that you'll be harvesting over the next 8 years, because we go in 9-year cycles. 2016 was a completion year. So you may be, now we're into July, we're more than halfway through the calendar year. You may really have done your sort of assessments. You may have thought it to death and then brought it back to life and thought it to death again. you may really be considering, okay, well, now is the time for me to start eliminating those people, those behaviors, those pastimes, those places, those pathological thought patterns, things that are keeping me back from moving forward. I also think it's very interesting that we have, like, I guess this is an elk. I don't know what they are in real life. Some sort of deer. Yeah, so I think it's very interesting that they have been brought to life and they're moving forward. So maybe by the middle of the day on July 4th, you have some kind of opportunity or some kind of a conversation that pushes you forward, okay, or motivates you to move forward in a creative way. So you're going to have to think outside the box. Instead of thinking about what makes sense, you want to think more about what inspires you and really gets your engines going creatively, okay? So that might be, again, why that bottom of the deck energy with the sun in reverse, it's like you really want to celebrate having a day off from work, but it's like, okay, I really want to move forward, but I don't know how. And just because it's a holiday doesn't mean those ideas go anywhere or those thoughts go anywhere, okay? So the end result is the Two of Wands, which means that you come up with a game plan and you're ready to walk forward into the future. So while these might have just been ideas circulating around, passionate ideas, you take at least two of those and you figure out a way to kind of move forward, step forward into the future. And, you have a hare here, and that's a pretty fast animal. So it might take a little bit of just rest and respite and playtime that you have for the weekend and July 4th, the day of, if you have the day off, to really get your creative juices flowing and saying, okay, I actually know a way I can make this happen. Might not move as fast as you want it to move, and that again could be why the sun is in reverse, but it's at least a step forward in the direction that you want to go. You're not feeling inert anymore by the end of the day. You aren't putting off the inevitable anymore by the end of the day, because you're tapping into that creative space, that wellspring that we all have. And it seems like you might come up with something to help you figure it out, okay? So I'm going to also pull a Crystal Mandala Oracle card for you by Alana Fairchild. I really love these cards. They're so pretty. They're huge, though. They're really hard to shuffle. Okay. So this is Ascended Master Merlin and Mystic Merlinite. That's the stone. And the suggestion is to read the energy. So we're actually going to read out of the book here to see what Ascended Master Merlin has to say. Read the energy. He says, we bring you the blessing of reading the energy. We affirm that you have the ability to read energy accurately, and we encourage you to apply your gifts. You don't have to be in control of the inflow of divine information. When a message or insight comes to you naturally, this is best. Simply being open and receptive as you intend to read the energy of the person, place, or situation at hand is enough. Whether you have been reading energetically for years or just beginning your journey in interpreting energetic information, we are here to assist you in becoming confident and trusting in your perceptive abilities. So, this is a really good card to have when you're considering this Three of Wands and going towards not necessarily what makes sense to you, but what feels good. Emotions are indicators of our boundaries. When we feel happy, when we feel sad or frustrated, it's important not to tamp those emotions down, because eventually they will find a way to surface, whether it's in our work, whether it's in our relationships, whether it's in our art or life purpose. If you're not satisfied, if you're not feeling good, and you continue to push that down, that will manifest and stall you out, okay? So this idea of reading the energy, not necessarily, whatever you choose to do won't necessarily make sense on paper, but it'll feel right, okay? So your instincts, let your instincts be your guide. Let your instincts pull you, compel you towards whatever the choices that you need to make next. And it looks like by the end of the day, you will have a good answer, a good direction. Okay? So, hope you guys enjoyed your Independence Day reading, and if you want me to do more of these, let me know. It's just northnodetarot@gmail.com. And again, if you think you would like to have monthly readings for your sign, I will post those as well, depending on how many people want one. Okay, all right, have a good day. Be safe.